Hello everybody, welcome back to Selco's digital YouTube channel. My name is Simon and today we are going to be talking about GraphQL. I'm going to explain to you how GraphQL works and what it does so you can start using it as soon as possible. Let's get started. You are already here and probably wondering what is GraphQL and how it works. Well, first of all, let me put together some information about GraphQL. It's a query language created by big old Facebook, so we know that it's not going anywhere anytime soon. The main purpose was to reduce over and under data fetching so we can get exactly what we ask for. It also reduces the amount of network requests to fetch the data to a single smart call. As you can imagine, there is a lot of data that Facebook has to deal with, and as you can guess, GraphQL is scalable as well as it makes it easier to evolve the APIs. Now, let's take a look at the current way of communicating with the server through API. This is a very common way to fetch the data. There are different endpoints for relevant data portions, and you have to make multiple calls to get what you need. In this example, we make 3 calls and get 3 responses back. Everything works perfectly, and our client is happy to render whatever it has to show based on the data retrieved. This solution has its advantages, however, it also has a few downsides that I want you to focus on to help you to understand why GraphQL is handy. First of all, we have to make multiple API calls, making the loading time longer. Secondly, what's worse, we constantly bombard the server with network requests. Thirdly, in most cases, we overfetch the data as the API returns the entire model. You might think that's not a big deal, but if your application is pretty large, think why Facebook created this query language in the first place. And lastly, there could be multiple loading animations which can cause page jumps in several places as they load asynchronously. So let's take a step back and think how we could improve our approach. Instead of calling multiple dump endpoints, we could call one smart endpoint that gets us exactly what we need from the database. And this is when GraphQL kicks in. It's got its own syntax, which is strongly typed and helps to understand what's expected. Now, instead of having multiple requests and responses, we now make one smart call and let GraphQL deal with the rest. Then it returns the data that we asked for and nothing else. There are mostly upsides to this approach, but remember, nothing is perfect, and it's not a solution to all of our problems. Both the client and the server are happier to deal with less network requests, but also our code base can be more predictable and our applications can have a smoother data flow now. So now let's take a look at a live example and see GraphQL in action. I have a database pre-populated with data which holds a list of countries. We have to specify what properties we want to see when querying a list of countries. In this case, I use name, encode. When we want to call a specific entry, we can pass an argument and filter it out. GraphQL generates a schema for us, and we can always check what properties are available for fetching, so we can ask exactly what we need. And you can always check what's in there in case you forgot or you are new to the code base. As you can see, we are defining different properties, and that's what we get back. Of course, that's not everything you can learn about GraphQL. I only gave you some highlights of what it does and how it works. For more, you can visit graphql.org website. You can also follow me on Twitter and GitHub. If you have any questions, we can get connected on those platforms and we can always discuss different things. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it. I hope you have a better understanding of GraphQL's potential. If you have any further questions, do leave a comment down below this video and I'll get in touch with you. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.